Hello, Vince. How you doing today, my friend?
What is going on, Mac and Roll? What's happening, man?
Hey, man, another day, another dollar.
Yes, it is.
And a little bit later, I'll make somebody holler. Look here.
Whoa, a little frisky Mac, bro.
Hey,
What's
man,
going on,
we got crazy weather coming in this way this weekend. So this may be the only chance I get in the next few days because they're looking at tornadoes coming up through Georgia tomorrow.
Oh, really? I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, man, it's just one of those bad weather times down here in the South. It's that time of year, though. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring something up before we get started. You're going to appreciate this. I went out to get a few things from Wally World, and while I was there, I got some socks. Now, socks to me, I've never had an issue buying socks. It's just like pick up a stack of them and throw them in the basket, and that's it. I get home and I put these socks on that I just purchased. And I look down towards the toes, and there's this strange little stuff at the end of the sock. And I look down at it and get it real close. One sock has an L written on it, and the other sock had an R written on it. Now, Vince,
I'm guessing ladies regular.
Since when do we need to be told left sock and right sock?
Oh, is that? Oh my! Are you serious?
I am dead serious. I'm thinking, what moron needs that life?
Are you sure it's not a ladies regular?
No. It's left and right, man. It's left and right.
Oh, my God.
Cracked me up. And I'm thinking to myself, what do? You put on two right socks one day, you'll walk in circles the rest of the day because you got the wrong sock on. What the hell?
I've never heard that in my entire life.
Crazy stuff. Speaking of crazy.
Bro, you know what the funny thing is, bro? I swear to God, this is how our mind works. Yep. Literally, if you put the right sock on the left foot and the left, you would feel it. You would suddenly like not be able to walk, right, Mac?
Yeah. You get it. See, you get it. Final boss engaged. Hey, man, how you doing today? It's good to see you in here. Let's see. We also have King of Hugo Mundo, another shit show from WWE.
They get us started. They get us started, Mac. We don't even say anything, and they get us started, man. They're the ones that get us in trouble, man.
Yeah, and if you want to join in the conversation, all you have to do is get a super chat and pop it in there, and we will read it up on the screen as we go through the show tonight. We got 63 of you in here right now, and we're going to get a lot more before it's over with, I have a feeling. Yeah. I want to bring up one thing real fast, though, Vince. There was some.
You're not going to talk about your underwear purchase today.
No.
I just want to make sure it's the family show, Mac. It's a family.
They're going to start doing the inside and out. What side's what now? Right. What kind of heat did you get into? I read something, and I'm being honest when I ask you this, but I do not know what kind of history you have with Ric Flair. But Ric Flair didn't want you talking about him on the show.
Mac, I swear to you. I saw that comment. Mac, I have no idea what he's talking about.
None.
I have no idea what he's talking. Mac, I never badmouth Ric Flair. I don't have anything to say bad about Ric Flair. I always put Charlotte over. I think Charlotte's the greatest. So I saw that, and I swear, bro, I don't know. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Now, he was basically saying either don't say his name or don't. No, it was something more about ratings, I believe. Don't use my name to get ratings.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have subscribers, bro. I don't get ratings. I have subscribers. Bro, I swear, who was it? I had the same thing I had the same thing a couple of months ago with JBL. And I couldn't understand it. And then I get to the bottom of it where somebody told JBL something I said and he believed it and I never said it. So I'm thinking, did somebody tell Flair I said something? Because, bro, I read that comment and I'm like, brother, I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
I just know he didn't want you saying his name. So, he doesn't want to use you or you use him for ratings. And so I figure everybody out there just hashtag no Flair BroDown.
Yeah.
No Flair
BroDown. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just throw that up there. I don't know what the hell a hashtag will actually do, but if it's out there, it'll be kind of fun anyhow. So we'll try to keep him out of things. All right. Let's talk about the show tonight, Vince. Well, before we do, I can't help but notice there's something missing on you. since the last show. You made a big
man.
change here.
Yeah. I couldn't handle it anymore, man. It was I couldn't stand the look of it, man. See, the thing is, man, I made the commitment to grow my hair out. I threw the beard in there.
Oh,
I
God.
threw the beard in, but I never had my beard that big before, and I didn't like it.
You finally had to get rid of it, huh?
Yeah, I had to get rid of it. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the show tonight. SmackDown came from Barcelona, Spain. It was recorded earlier this afternoon, and we get a shot of Randy and his wife entering in the building, which was a surprise for me. I don't think I've ever seen them show his wife with him at any time, but and she's a very sweet lady, by the way. I've met her last year, but they were in the opening package. Then LA Knight starts the night off. Crowd was hot for LA Knight. Man, they were just going crazy. But before he gets too far, Big Jim came out to interrupt him and is desperate, he says, and challenges LA Knight for the U.S. Championship. But he gets interrupted by the new bloodline, and Solo says Jacob Fatu deserves a shot. A fight breaks out, and one big SOB comes out to help Knight and Big Jim. Nick Aldis makes a 6-man tag team match, and we get the winners, one big SOB, Knight and Uso. Your thoughts on how they started this program tonight?
Well, see, that's the thing, Mac. I want to back up a little bit because this show is not going to do a good number, and I'll tell you why. It was recorded, so everybody checked out the spoilers. Now, here's what's supposed to happen, Mac. You're supposed to read the spoilers and want to watch the show. You want to see something that's reported in the spoilers. Bro, I read the spoilers today, and I swear to God, this was my knee-jerk reaction. Oh, bro, this is great. I can fast forward through this whole entire thing. That was exactly how I felt. And then I went on Twitch Live, and I noticed, bro, there was not a lot of people in the room. So I know a lot of people did not watch the show, and I cannot tell you how many people commented, I read the spoilers, and I did not watch the show because of the spoil. I mean, that's the thing, Mac. Like, do they think the hook of the spoilers were like the Street Profits beating DUI? Like, did they actually think like people were going to tune in for that because they cared about that?
I don't believe so. It didn't draw my attention. And I was like you, Vince, when I first knew that we were getting the show earlier this afternoon, I got to see the spoilers. I can kind of map out what the show would be tonight. But then I found myself going, well, they could switch it up a little bit on the show because you never know and, post what they may do. So I still have to watch the damn show. And the thing that struck me is the way they started the show is the way they have started the show, not just this week and not just for SmackDown, but for Raw for the last couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks now since Elimination Chamber. And I swear to God, I still don't understand why we have not heard from The Rock or John Cena. This should be the major push of WrestleMania, and I feel like it's an afterthought.
Mac, let's just be honest, man. Let's just call it right down the middle, you and me. Listen, man, we know their audience, the wrestling marks. They're gonna watch the show no matter what. Whether Rock or Cena are on it, it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter. But nobody can stand there and tell me that in the last 2 weeks they have not taken a ton of steam off what was a very hot angle. I don't want to hear you. Don't even think about having that argument with me because you're an imbecile. 2 weeks of none of these guys being on the shows when that ending was red hot, Mac.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry, guys, man. They have taken a lot of steam off of this angle.
It should have been pedal to the metal right after that turn. There should have been no looking back. There is no excitement for WrestleMania for me. There really isn't. And I know people have said, and I've had arguments on other shows where I tell them, it's like, look, I understand Cody is doing the promos and, carrying the story, but he cannot do it by himself. It's
Yep.
just like a match. There has to be somebody you're dancing with. And right now, he's dancing by himself, and it's not coming across well. Now, the other thing is people say, well, you're rushing it. You need to give it a few more weeks. God love you. I appreciate that.
There's
But
4 weeks. There's
yes.
4 weeks, Mac. I counted because I saw April 19th and 20th, and I counted, okay, today's the 14th. They got 4 weeks left, man.
Yeah, and on top of that, they're on the road, and you pointed out a while ago, a lot of people are not watching the show now while they're on the road because they're the spoilers will already be out there. So why are they going to watch the program? And even if they do, wrestling fans love to watch wrestling live. They do not want it recorded. That's been proven time and time again. And here we are going into WrestleMania with recorded Monday Night Raws and Friday Night SmackDowns. I don't get it.
Yeah. Bro, listen, I just think that they're in that mode now that, you know, they have the attitude that whatever they do, they're going to just continue to rake in the money and make a ton of money. I had somebody I was talking to, you know, John Paz, you know, who he is, John Paz. Yeah, I've known John a long time. He's a really, really good podcaster. And he was telling me, you know, he went to the Garden show and, you know, he brought his son. I think the tickets were like $1.90 a piece. And then he was telling me the price of merch. And I was like, oh my God. And he said, you know,
you made me think of something right as you were saying that. I took a screenshot of something I want to share with you. I can't show it on the screen here, but I'll read to you what it is here. This is a Hall of Fame icon package. Now, this is for. Now, did you see this?
Go ahead,
man. You get for this price, and I'm about to give you in a moment. You get row 2, 3 seating, Hall of Fame stage access with podium photo op, a private meet and greet with Paul Triple H Levesque and Lex Luger with a photo op, a premium gift, better be, dedicated priority pass entrance, professional on location, on site support staff for you for the low, low price of only $8,500. That can't be real.
Would you? That's what I was just going to say, Mac. Would you not think that's a rib?
I would think it was a rib. I would think, who can afford that? Who?
Bro, I don't even think Gene Simmons charges.
I know. I'm thinking this is Kiss. This is about the kind of price range you're getting with Gene Simmons or Kiss. Yeah. You're right. Absolutely correct. Oh God. By the way, I just thought of something else. Another good way to get ratings for our show. We don't have to use anybody in particular, but if we gave away free weed, we could give away Ric Flair's drip.
There you go, bro.
Yep,
Very nice.
There you go. I'm not trying to get any ratings out of Rick. I just kind of pointing the fact out, you know.
Bro, I want to say this, which I swear to God, they do so many things, and people have venture and nitpicking. I'm not nitpicking. I just think they're funny. I just think it's funny. So, okay, so here comes Nick Aldis. We got the 6-man tag. You could have called it a mile away, right, Mac?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Mac, who does the job? Tama Tonga. You could have called that a mile away, bro. Yep. So then, Mac, you pointed this out a couple of weeks ago, like everything is ending in a brawl. Everything is ending in a brawl. So here's the funny part, Mac. This first segment, I don't know if you noticed this or not, it ends in a brawl with Fatu getting heat on Strowman, right? Then the commentators make the commentators basically say, we don't have enough personnel over here to break this up. So in other words, we're in Spain. We didn't fly a lot of people over. But then, Mac, we go to the next segment with Charlotte and B-Fab, and then Tiffany hits the ring. The ring is loaded with security and agents. And I'm like, you just told me 5 minutes ago there was nobody here to break up. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, can you guys, like, for one show, can we all get on the same page?
And can you please find a security force that can do their job? Because every week they're made to look like fools coming out there. Let me bring something else, too, about that 6-man tag. At the end of it all, Fatu is the one that got over. And is Fatu, are the fans not wanting Fatu to be a face and not a heel?
Absolutely. And I mean, when he cuts that promo coming to the ring, he's definitely a baby face.
Yeah. I think that I think that they're seeing him as a babyface, the fans, but I'd rather see him as the heel right now, because when you let Jacob Fatu go and really get mean like you can be,
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu is one hell of a heel.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to see him become a face just to appease the fans at this point. But
Yeah.
what did you think about the video package, Triple H in the Hall of Fame?
Okay, let's go to the Jade Cargill interview.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I wish they would have did a couple of takes with the Jade Cargill interview, because there was not enough emotion. It sounded scripted.
Yep.
When Liv and Rodriguez came in, it sounded even more scripted. You know, Mac, you know, man, you've been around the business for a long time. I always question, like, who are the producers? Because, Mac, when I was producing stuff, bro, you had a feel. You had a feel when it's coming across as phony. And I can't tell you how many times, Mac, I would sit there and say, guys, we're doing it again. Why, Vince? Because I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I didn't believe one word you guys said. We're doing it again. And you have a feel for, okay, man, that's a take. And nah, man, we got to do it again. This just really came off as scripted. Everything was plotted. There was a lack of emotion. And that should not happen when you're doing a pre-tape like this, Mac. Because, Mac, they were in an empty arena. You got all day to do this, man.
Correct.
If you got to get Jade there 5, 6, 10 times, then do it 10 times.
And especially, it is even more noticeable when you see the video package prior to Jade speaking in those stands, and you're seeing Bianca and you're seeing Naomi, and how emotional that promo got on the last show, to be followed up by the type of high school acting that we talk about all the time from Jade. It was like a car crash. It was two different things. Last week was great. This week was, Yeah,
and that wasn't the place to make a match for next week. That should have been, and like you said, Mac, an emotional promo. And instead it came out like she was 100% scripted, and we went right to a match for next week. That's I get so frustrated. Like, I don't understand. Do people there just not know what they're doing? Do they just not care? Is the attitude we're making so much money so it doesn't matter? I don't understand, Mac.
I think they're just satisfied with satisfactory TV.
Mediocrity.
Yeah. I watched, I was talking about that Triple H promo a minute ago. And the one thing that I got after watching that was that it seems to me that at the time, and people will hate me for saying this, but when Vince McMahon was there, I swear the promo packages seemed much better. Did he help edit those at the end of the day? Was he overseeing all that?
Kevin Dunn was part of Vince McMahon. So Kevin Dunn was doing all that. And, Kevin Dunn, having worked for Vince for so long, knew exactly what Vince wanted. And Kevin Dunn's people knew what Kevin wanted, and Kevin knew what Vince wanted. So when you saw these packages, these were approved by Vince without a shadow of a doubt.
Listen, we do have a super chat coming in, and if you want to be a part of the show and have us answer some questions for you, or say something to Vince, or ask him any questions, just simply send us a super chat. We'll throw it up there. Surge Hero 100 with the $4.99 donation. The WWE are back to no momentum to WrestleMania. Cody desperately needs someone to carry him. Vince, your thoughts?
Bro, again, Mac, you and I could talk to a blue in the face, and then here's the argument I'll always get. I always hear disco in the back of my mind. Yeah, Vince, and they're making billions of dollars. So none of what you talk about matters. But, bro, if I'm freaking Cody, at least do this, Mac. At least do this. At least if Rock or Cena aren't on the show, and Cody's that hot because of what happened to him, then let's at least have Cody go look for them. How about that? Why don't we go have Cody knock on Mr. Cena's door? We've seen Mr. Cena before on TV. We know who he is. He's been established. Why not have him go to the old man's house? Like, give me something. Like, you're giving me absolutely nothing. You're telling me Rock and John Cena are too busy to be on this show. That's what you're telling me, bro. Well, then at least get creative. At least have Cody go, oh, I'm going to go on the set of Rock's new movie and I'm going to hunt him down. I mean, give me something, bro. Him laying out The Miz does what? Does what, Mac?
Does absolutely nothing. And as you mentioned, there is no reason we don't see Cody dealing with The Rock in some form or fashion. The same with John Cena. For us to be this far into WrestleMania season and to not have either one of the major stars show up tells me just about how far this angle will go after WrestleMania. Because if they don't care about it now, they're damn sure not going to care about it after WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's Mac, you're like me, man, because I can tell, with your wrestling career and your radio career, you're like me, man. When you do something, you just want it to be the best. When your name is on something, you want it to be the best. You're right, Mac. This is mediocrity. We're just asked every week to settle for mediocrity, man. This is a mediocre show at best.
And for anybody who thinks that we're just giving WWE hell for their shows, I'm going to be honest with you. Go back and watch Nitro back in the days when Hulk Hogan joined the NWO. There was a completely different approach to how they handled that situation when he became the third member, and it wasn't hiding in the shadows and pretending that the whole thing never happened. And that's what it feels like right now in WWE. It feels like you're not behind this storyline at this point right now. I swear, now I've heard rumors that maybe all of it was thrown together at the last minutes before Elimination Chamber. If that's the case, they obviously had no idea where to go afterwards. They just thought, here, let's just pop the crowd and that's all we need to do. Well, it doesn't work for me. Not that way.
Yep. I'm with you, Mac.
B-Fab cut a promo in the back on tonight's show and makes her way to the ring, and she'll be facing Charlotte Flair, who's up next. I'm wondering, too, when it came to this match, why did they not at least lean into this match a little bit at the start of the show and weave it through the show? Because I thought that the B-Fab versus Charlotte Flair match was probably going to be one of the better matches of the evening. What did you think?
I agree with you too, and especially Charlotte's been off for so long. I mean, it would not hurt to put the spotlight on her a little bit more, give her a little bit more television time. So yeah, man, I agree with you, man. They should have given her a little bit more time. But again, man, here we are again, man. Another security pull apart, coming off a security pull apart in the first segment. Yep. Then we got one with, we got Kevin Owens and Orton later. It just seems like that's what they're going to,
And you pointed out to me just a couple of weeks ago, it's a formula. Every show's going to have this and this and this. And when you think of it as the show's going on, you see it happening. And it's like, my God, every single show we got pull aparts. And guess what? They're going to break loose and they're going to get a hold of each other again. They're going to pull them apart again. Guess what? They're going to break away again and get it. It happens the same freaking way week after week. I don't mean to hate on the product because I love wrestling. I really do. But I get frustrated when I see stupid things that I know could be done so much better.
Can I tell you something, Mac?
Yeah.
I loved past tense wrestling. This is not wrestling. There are no characters. There are no story. It's not wrestling without characters and stories. It's wrestling matches, but it's not wrestling. So
Correct.
I am not a fan of this. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I love this. And I used to. Obviously I spent a great amount of my life in it.
Yeah.
This is not wrestling. This is not wrestling. These are wrestling matches. And Mac, they've gone to the well now 3 weeks in a row. This is the new formula. Have a swerve at the end. Let the first 2 hours and 50 minutes be absolute dog crap. But then at the end, we're going to have Io Sky upset Rhea Ripley. Then we're going to have Roman Reigns come out. Then we're going to have the Street Profits. Mac, this is how lame they are. I know you will understand this because you've been around the block a million times. Mac, this is first grade wrestling writing. So, Mac, they do the show From the Garden, which is the absolute drizzling shits. Okay. Yep. They hang everything on the steel cage match. That's what they're hanging everything on. But meanwhile, Mac, here's the reality of the situation. The first 2 hours and 10, 15 minutes of the show were absolutely horrible. There's a good amount of people that didn't stick around for the cage match. There's a good amount of people that went to bed. Oh, no Rock, no Cena. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to watch something else. So, Mac, those people, they don't know Roman Reigns is coming out at the end. Nope. Mac, can I ask you one freaking simple, one simple question?
Sure.
Mac, why didn't they have a limo show up at the top of the show and keep going back to the limo so we know somebody is important there? Now, of course, Mac, people are going to hope it's Rock or Cena, but they're not going to be disappointed when it's Roman Reigns.
Correct.
Mac, can you explain to me why wouldn't you do something that simple to keep the people there, to let them know somebody's important here who's going to come out late? Why wouldn't you do that, Mac?
You wouldn't do it because you don't have writers who understand the importance of things like that. And if there's somebody there not pointing out those facts, you're going to continue to have those issues. Because back in the day, think about it again. I go back to the Nitro days and back to the days of the Attitude Era. Man, there were limousines pulling up on every show. It seemed like maybe it was a formula, but it worked. And people wanted to know who was in that limo and what hell was going to break loose next. I agree with you. That's a great idea. And they should be doing more like that. But instead, we have writers who write for the match and not write a story. There's a complete difference.
Thank you. Yes, Mac. But that to me, I mean, that's like first grade writing. You don't need any experience to know that.
No, it makes me wonder, what is the qualifications for being a writer for SmackDown and Raw now? I'd love to know that. Hell, I might be able to get a job. Drew, I doubt it now. Drew McIntyre had a video package, and it was about his rivalry with Damian Priest, and he says, "You'll never take anything away from me again." Did you like this video package?
Yeah, I just, it's just, Mac, there's no stakes to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Okay, McIntyre and Priest are going to have a match at WrestleMania. I don't know why I really care who wins and loses, and I don't know. And Mac, this is why there's no story. There's no story other than McIntyre attacking Priest and Priest attacking McIntyre and it going back and forth like a ping pong game. There's no story. There's nothing personally involving us and bringing us in. So it's a match, and whoever wins.
And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Can you imagine if a movie were made that way? There would be nobody watching the movie, because if you don't care about the good guy and the bad guy and the story that's being told, it means nothing when it's all said and done.
Mac, I say this all the time. You know what these wrestling shows are? These wrestling shows are if Rocky would have just started with the fight. That's what this show is. If Rocky would have started with the fight, we knew nothing about him and his story, and Adrian and Paulie. We knew nothing about Apollo Creed.
That doesn't matter.
We're just going to give you the fight. Now, would we have felt the same way at the end when he's screaming for Adrian to come in the ring? If we didn't see that story, would that have had the same effect? That's what this show is, man.
Yep. Absolutely correct. You are so correct. Look here, we did have the Miz come out for Miz TV with the special guest Cody Rhodes, but we got we do this every week too. They had that Papa John's pizza and wings commercial. I swear to God, I get so freaking hungry. There's another idea. There's another idea. We can get ratings up, and we can offer discounts at Ric Flair's Woo Wings. That's what we can do.
Woo Wings, very nice, very nice.
Don't want to use him for any kind of ratings ploy though. Back from commercials, we get Charlotte and Tiffany still going at it as Miz, poor guy, he's trying to have his show, and they're just fighting still. The security, as you mentioned, is out in force now, trying to get them apart. But we do get the Miz and Cody, well, kinda, because Cody didn't last too long before he took the Miz down and said, I got something else to say.
Mac, I swear to God, this is what makes it worse. And like, there's nobody seeing the big picture. So I'm gonna explain the big picture to you of how, where were we in Barcelona? Yep. Listen to what they did to these Barcelona people. What do they call Barcelonians? Maybe
I would imagine so. Yeah,
Mac. Let's look at what they did with these Barcelonians. So these Barcelonians buy tickets for this. God knows how long in advance. God knows how much they pay, and they are so freaking excited to come to this show. Okay, all right, Mac. So Mac, off the bat, we get no Rock, we get no Cena. Off the bat, okay. Then Cody's advertised, we get no Cody. Like, Cody doesn't cut a promo. Barcelona, what do you want to talk about? We get Cody laying out Miz in 10 seconds. But wait, yep. Mac, they're not done. They're not done. Then what do? They put the walrus out there, and he's telling the Barcelonian crowd, you ready for this, Mac? Roman's gonna be here, but not tonight. Not tonight. Like, can you imagine sitting in that crowd with whatever you paid and no Rock, no Cena. Cody doesn't say a word, and then Roman will be. We can see Roman next week on TV. This is what I'm talking about. Somebody's got to think about those things, man.
Well, those poor fans were booing him when he said that too. They're like, "Boo!" It's like, what did you expect them to do? Of course, they're going to boo your ass out of the building.
It's like, it's ridiculous. I mean, you've got to think about these things, man.
God. All right, guys, if you want to join in the conversation, super chats are the way to do that. Get a super chat in. We'll throw it up on the screen. We did get Nick and Shinsuke backstage, and Damian Priest walks up. When it's all over with, Nick makes a match between the two of them. The winner was Damian Priest after Drew McIntyre attacked Priest. Your thoughts on that segment?
It's not much, bro, because the only way they're going from week to week to week to week of Wrestler A's attacking Wrestler B. The next week, Wrestler B attacks. Please I'm just begging you to give me stories, man. Like, bro, that's the thing. They touch upon, we know a little bit about Damian Priest. We knew he grew up in New York. He had a little bit of a little rough upbringing. They give us a little, but these are where you've got to make the stories. You know what I mean? And
I do, and they had the same problem, I believe, and they've had this problem for weeks now. When we had the backstage promo with DIY, who are the current tag team champions, and the Motor City Machine Guns. Please tell me, what is the story between all these tag teams? Because I've yet to figure out what the story is, other than we think we're better than you.
That's the story with everybody, man. It's a story with everybody.
Let's see. Backstage. We already talked about that. Next, we get the women's U.S. champion, Chelsea Green.
Hey, Matt, a super sticker came up real quick, and then
it was one we had read earlier, another one just popped up, though. Roland Curtis.
Here's Roland's Austin pitch. You see, I swear to God, what's he say here? Here we go.
He says, with Mac Davis at Sportskeeda, GOAT. 4 people say Hogan versus 6 people say Austin. Okay, I get 4 people say Hogan versus 6 people saying Austin. Were you too shocked that Dutch ranked Austin as the GOAT, and wouldn't you say Dutch's wrestling opinions hold the most weight? Go ahead, Vince. Well, you don't know how to answer that either, do you? That's actually, Roland, you kind of got me stumped when you asked that question. Really.
See, Roland, you got to take something into consideration. And, bro, listen, Hogan got more heat this week. Did you hear about Hogan in the appearance and he left early?
Met another girl. He did the same thing Carmelo Hayes did. Carmelo Hayes came down the ring and made some girl just about cry, and it made me think of Hulk Hogan.
So, Roland, you got to understand something, and this really does come into play. Bro, Mac, a lot of people don't like Hogan. There aren't too many people that don't like Austin. Everybody likes Steve Austin. A lot of people don't like Hogan. So when you ask somebody about the GOAT, their personal feelings are going to come into play. Okay. I mean, God, everybody knows I have my history with Hogan, but I put that aside when you ask me who's the GOAT. I'm going to tell you who's the GOAT, and I'm going to tell you why. So you got to understand, man, Hogan is not the most popular guy on the block, Mac.
Okay, but you left out one part of that, which is the part you're trying to skip probably. Wouldn't you say Dutch's wrestling opinion holds the most weight?
I put great value on Dutch's wrestling opinion, but I don't know if Dutch had a history with Hulk. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure their paths crossed many times.
Matchmania 23 with $2. Vince, what do you think of Carmelo Hayes?
Yeah, again, Matchmania, he's another wrestler on the card because they don't do nothing with him. That's not his fault. He looks good. He's in great shape. He's a great athlete, but he goes out there. What's the difference between him and Bianca Belair's husband? What's the difference between those two guys?
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I'm trying. What is Bianca's husband's name? I can't remember now.
Isn't that sad, bro? We can't.
Yeah, man. And he's actually one hell of an athlete too. But he is very much just like Carmelo Hayes when you bring it to it. Oh God, it's killing me that I can't think of his name right now. Somebody probably will remember that.
They'll tell us in the room what to do.
Yeah, because I can't remember what his name is to save my soul. The Chelsea Green and her secret Hervis agents, Piper Niven and Alba Fire, they get approached by Zelina Vega. Are you excited by all this possibility with Zelina and Chelsea Green?
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
So Zelina,
you know what they should do?
Sweetheart. She just, I don't see her as championship material.
You know what they need to do, Mac? I'll tell you right now what they need to do. Give Chelsea an interview segment. Give Chelsea a Piper's Pit. Have Piper, have her standing there as the security. She's got the head. She makes sure everything is clear. Give Chelsea a Piper's Pit segment. She would knock it out of the freaking park.
I'm a hustler 50, tells us it's Montez Ford.
Montez Ford. I apologize to Montez Ford. The dude's a great athlete. Great athlete. But again, they do nothing with him. Those guys won the titles tonight. So what?
I got to the point of the show tonight with after seeing like the Zelina Vega piece where I just started getting really tired. Yeah, it's just like I've got to go through another hour and a half of this damn show.
Mac, you know what the measuring stick is? Here's the measuring stick. When they take a belt off of somebody, ask yourself the question: Did that team or that talent? Did their stock increase with the belts? So let's just take two case in points on SmackDown alone. When they put the belt on, from the time they put the belt on Nakamura and took it off, did his stock increase at all?
No.
Okay. From the time they put the belts on DUI and took them off of DUI, did their stock increase at all?
No.
Okay, that's what the belts are supposed to do. They're supposed to increase your stock. They're putting the belts on people and taking them off of people without the belt ever having any effect whatsoever on that person.
Who would you fault for that? Because it's not the talent's fault. I mean,
it's not the talent, but the talent's got to question it. The talent, I'll give you the perfect example. And listen, I don't know how much we want to go through this, but my God, Mac, freaking Gunther cannot be selling to some jabron because he's from Spain. And Gunther's the one that's got to say, guys, I'm the world freaking champion. I'm getting ready to go to WrestleMania. You want me to sell for a guy that nobody knows who he is? He's half my size because he's in Spain and we're in Barcelona? But he's got to say, no, I'm not doing that.
What happens if you're a talent in WWE and you're trying to protect your character? Because a lot of times if you don't step in, you'll get run all over. That was one of those cases like tonight where he gave so much to this unknown NXT talent. And I know if people who know NXT, you know who he is. I don't watch NXT, and the majority of people who watch SmackDown don't watch NXT.
I never saw this guy in my life.
Yeah. So, I mean, nobody really knows who he is, but here's Gunther, and he's having one hell of a long match with a guy who's giving him fits, and it just doesn't feel right when he's the champion going into WrestleMania.
Bro, there is no way, no hell, no how an old-time agent would have ever booked a match like a Jerry Briscoe, a Pat Patterson, a Chief Strongbow, a Tony freaking Greer. I can go, a Kevin Sullivan. I can go on and on. No way would they have booked a match like that. That's sickening. That is sickening because you're in Barcelona. Really?
And let me say something else too. You know, people who think that we talk bad about wrestling, or that people say, well, you know, you just don't enjoy it. I can tell you from experience and people I know, there are many veterans, people who have been in the business, even people just from 5 or 10 years ago, who don't watch the product anymore.
Right.
They don't. It's not just Vince and I. Even these guys who were once major stars, they don't watch the product anymore because it's not real wrestling like what we used to watch. This has become all entertainment, and it's not being written that well. Look here, by the way, I thought of something else too. You know, being that I was getting tired earlier this evening, we can do Ric Flair's energy drink, the Woo Energy. Woo Energy. There we go.
There go the ratings. Get those ratings, Mac. Get those ratings.
We did get Randy Orton and Carmelo Hayes, which Randy Orton, and as you mentioned, Carmelo Hayes, he's not bad. He's a good athlete. But when he was in the ring with Randy Orton, the size difference. Randy is such a freaking giant compared to him. Did you think that match did anything good for Randy tonight?
No, not at all. Not at all. And you know, God, I remember like just freaking angles this simple, man. I remember when we had an angle between Paige and the late Chris Kanyon. And the angle was Canyon was going around in the streets, in grocery stores, you name it, hitting everybody with the diamond cutter. That's what, and then doing the bang, doing the whole, bro, at least do something like that with Carmelo Hayes. If you know he's going to do a little something, have him start giving RKOs out of nowhere to other people. Do something, just something, bro. Somebody come up with something.
Yes, please. God, please. And by the way, join us in the super chat. Be a part of this conversation. Just get a super chat, throw it in here, and we'll throw you up on the air here and join in the conversation. We did get Randy Orton beaten up.
Here's another thing. And Mac, I didn't even know this because I was fast forwarding through it, as a matter of fact. But Mac, you said this yourself. Orton showed up with his wife.
Yep.
Why not have freaking Carmelo make fun of his wife, do his wife something. Do his wife is there. Get his wife when he's not around and just cut a promo on you. You think your husband's a man, I'm more man. Give me something, man.
Yep. All right, let's see. We did get Kevin Owens coming in and attacking Randy Orton. And one thing I noticed before that finished playing out, I'm not sure that Kevin Owens didn't hurt his ankle. He wobbled on his ankle at one point outside the ring. And then when he went over that wall and tried to run, he wasn't running well at all.
Yeah, he was kind of staggering. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. Yeah.
We do get to backstage. We see Jacob Fatu and the New Bloodline. And next week, not this show, but next week, we will be getting Fatu versus Strowman. Are you looking forward to that? And again, let me ask you, that's Fatu versus Strowman. Strowman is supposed to be the face, right? In this particular case, but Fatu is the one who's loved by the fans.
Didn't we just have that 2 weeks ago?
I think so.
I think we just had that match.
Look here, I talk about Gunther, but we've already done that.
That was the worst thing on the show. Far and away, that was the worst thing on the show. The way he sold for that freaking guy because they were in Spain and he was a local yokel. You think that would have ever happened on Vince's dime? Ever? No. Oh, my God, bro. That was the worst thing on the show.
We did get the in-ring promo from Paul Heyman, as you mentioned. Was there anything about that you enjoyed tonight? Because it was not your typical Paul Heyman promo. It was actually kind of, it was a little more laid back than I usually expect from Paul.
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy about. I don't like Paul Heyman, bro. Like, I don't like Paul. It's very hard for me to be objective when it comes to Paul. I think the dude has been cutting the same freaking exact promo for the last decade, man. It's so one-dimensional. It's always the same thing. I think he freaking overacts. I'm not a big Paul Heyman fan like everybody else. I'm sorry, Matt. That's my opinion.
Hey, which is fine because I enjoy Paul. I do enjoy his promos when he's on target, and he just wasn't on target tonight. But there are times when he can be very good. And I remember him from the early days too, when he was Paul E. Dangerously back in WCW, the early days. Yeah, his promo tonight, again, I think it was just one of those things where, hey, join us next week. Yeah. These poor people at the stands going, screw you.
Yeah, man. That's awful, man. I swear, I remember, man. I swear to God, Mac, I can remember when I was a kid, we always used to, my dad always used to take me to Shea Stadium, and I was a Giants fan, so we always just go see the Giants and the Mets. And I remember as a kid, bro, go to Shea Stadium. The first thing you look at is the lineup is on the scoreboard. That's the first thing you look at. You look at who's in the starting lineup. Bro, if my father took me to a game and like Willie Mays wasn't in the starting lineup, or Willie McCovey, or, my favorite guys, it just took the wind out of my sails before the show even started. And here you've got these people. If you like Rock, we're sorry. If you like Cena's not playing tonight. Roman's not. But we're going to give you Cody, but he's only going to play one inning. Then we're going to take him out of the game. Bro, that's a real thing. That is a real thing. And I just don't understand why they aren't more aware of these little things.
And I wish somebody would answer those questions from WWE, because they've got to know that there are plenty of people who feel this way. The show is just not what it should be. We're not getting what we should. The other night, I think it was Monday Night Raw. I'm sure it was Monday Night Raw. Well, yeah, because it was on Netflix. I'm watching the show, and normally on Netflix, you hear cuss words left and right. No big deal. That's just part of what you hear. And they don't bleep that out. But they started bleeping out somebody giving the finger. My screen went black every single time. And I'm thinking, I am watching Netflix. Why are you blocking out the screen when they're shooting a bird, but you let somebody say something else like,
Mac,
or shit.
Mac.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know why. I couldn't find something to watch the other night. So I go to Netflix, and there's this movie on Netflix. It's called Delicious, right? And it's a I like thrillers, Mac. I like thrillers. I'm just a mark for thrillers. Thrillers usually involve crazy people, and I like that. I like that, right? So, Mac, I'm watching this movie called Delicious, right? And it's about this well-to-do couple, and they're on vacation. And there's these bunch of young workers at a restaurant. And these young workers as a restaurant, they seek out this rich family because they're going to rob them, right?
All right.
So they have this elaborate plot where one of the girls who works in the restaurant winds up like getting hit by a car that the rich guy is driving. So then she coerces them in taking her in. So now she's in there. Then she winds up introducing them to the friends. Okay, so I'm like, okay, they're going to roll this couple. Obviously, that's where they're going. Mac, we get to the last 10 minutes of the movie. They've all infiltrated this family now. Okay, so now they're going to roll them. They're going to steal, rob them, kill them, whatever they're going to do. Mac, they get the woman, right? The mother. Bro, they start eating her. They're cannibals. Mac. The last 10 minutes of the movie. And then the reason I'm bringing that up is, bro, we're eating people on Netflix and you're going to black out middle fingers? Like, serious? I swear to God, bro, can somebody explain that to me, man? Really?
They won't be able to either.
Oh, my God. Please.
Nova popping in. Pro wrestling has the strange task of telling a story into infinity. It'd be like if Breaking Bad was running for 20 plus years every Monday for 3 hours.
I always talk about that, Nova. It's the rat in the wheel, bro. It's the gerbil in the reel, round and round and round and round. That's what we get every single week. That's it.
Hey, look, before we get out of here tonight, Vince, I do want to show you something that I have. I don't usually show you much. I need to show you those socks on the next show. But I'm going to show you something that I have. I get very few things wrestling-wise, memorabilia that I'll keep. But I thought I'd share this tonight because I thought this is a perfect show for this. As you'll see, that is.
Oh, that is awesome, bro.
Harley Race. Yeah, I thought I'd have that in there.
Oh, you don't have that signed by Flair too?
No, I don't. I'm sorry, I didn't. I don't mean to use him for ratings.
Bro, you gotta throw that in a frame, Mac.
I've been hanging on to it in my office for a while. It's in a protective sleeve thing.
But throw that in a frame, man.
Yeah, man. Harley Race, man. That was one of the true greats right there, man.
That's a man's man.
You know what? He wasn't a muscle man. He wasn't a huge. He was just I always kind of described him as a kick-ass trucker. He looked like somebody who'd come off of a truck and just whoop your ass and then just truck on down the road.
Badass, bro. All right, let's see what Roland has to say. Go ahead.
I agree with Vince that Hogan is disliked.
All right, we're on the same page. Okay, go ahead, Roland.
This week, Hogan made kids cry.
Yes.
Scott Steiner called Hogan a piece of shit for Hogan's creative control over Steiner's WCW career.
Yes.
And Brutus revealed that Hogan hit on his wife.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell Roland. There's a lot of people that don't like Hulk Hogan, man.
Yeah. He may not end up on that Mount Rushmore ever at this rate. Yeah. But I think we're out of time here, Vince. We are coming up on about midnight, so we are about out of time. But, brother, I enjoyed this. I can do each and every week.
I just want people to understand, guys, please, if you think we're haters and we're this and we're that, Mac and I clearly put over the John Cena turn. We clearly put it over the way it was done. It was good for business. We were eager to see where they were going. And where have they gone? In 2 weeks, they've gone nowhere. You can't expect Mac and I to sit here and put that over. You can't expect us to put it over.
Absolutely not. Because it's very, I look at this show, every time I watch the shows, I try to view it as a fan. Because at heart, that's what I am. I am a fan. Anybody who makes fun of people we call marks or anything else, we are all marks. Most of us are still marks if we're watching the product. But I feel as a fan that I've been let down. and that so far, this lead up to WrestleMania has bored me to death. And it's because there's not good storytelling. And without the storytelling, we don't have wrestling. You got to have good, you got to have bad, and you got to have a reason for why you want to watch one other person beat somebody else's ass.
And Mac and I have said a million times, okay, bro, the dudes are busy. Okay, Cena's busy. Rock's busy. Okay, bro, that's what you got these for.
Yeah.
That's what these are for. Film something, send something. That's all you need. That's the part, Mac, I don't understand. This is all you need.
And Vince, that's all they used the last time that The Rock was involved in WrestleMania. He was cutting promos from his gym while he was filming somewhere. He was delivering social media promos that were doing better numbers than what they were doing on the actual show on Monday nights. I don't understand why, if they knew how successful that was once before, why aren't you doing it again? You keep repeating everything else on the weekly shows.
You know why, Mac?
Why?
Because they're making money hand over fist.
Yep. And they already got the check.
It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter.
AJ2 Homie with a $5 donation. I skipped most of the show in Australia. It's on Netflix, 3-hour show in about an hour. Doesn't keep my attention. Yeah, it's not going to keep your attention tonight. It's really a do nothing program. And again, I hate to say that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, Vince, I will see you again next week right here on BroDown. I look forward to it. And please join us next week as well. Tell all your friends to join us. We got a lot of you in here this afternoon or this evening, and we'd love to have you come back. I'm Mac Davis, and that is the star of the show, Mr. Vince Russo. See you next week.